no country has good desserts other than America. And it goes basically America, France, England, and then kind of everything else.
Oh my God, my ranking is so different.
What do you got? You're wrong. What do you got?
Asian pastries
Oh, you're out.
are by far superior
You're so
to
right.
all.
You're so right. Why didn't we think of adding beans to our dessert palette? I include my own people. Jewish desserts are at the bottom of the list.
Of course.
Just dusty,
dry
with memories of dead ancestors.
Raisins,
like raisins and dust. And it's just all awful.
Thank you to our sponsor, Rocket RX. For listeners, you can get 20% off your first order. Use code Trash Tuesday. Go to rocketrx.com and enter code Trash Tuesday at checkout for 20% off your first order. Follow the link in the description.
If you're just tuning in, Rick's had some COVID exposure, and I'm a beta cuck worried about the virus that
We're
was
all
transplanted
worried
from China.
about the virus.
Wait, are you guys worried about Mpox?
Nah.
I got vaccinated.
You did?
What? Yeah, it was a mistake.
What do you mean?
Is that why you look so swollen?
Rick.
No, that was something else I was going through.
It's part of our
I'm sorry.
thing. I don't mean it. Everyone knows I think Esther is so beautiful.
We should start something like that, you and I, like a cruelty-based friendship thing. That could be fun for us.
You guys just keep calling each other the N-word.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into it, but I prematurely got the monkeypox virus vaccine. I don't
It's
have
such an Esther thing to say. I got the Mpox vaccine, but I don't want to talk about
Wait,
it.
not the most recent strain though.
No, this was the 2 years ago.
Oh, this
strain.
does not apply to this recent one. This is the most virulent one, apparently.
Isn't it just in Africa, though? Is it here?
It's here now.
Well, a lot of stuff
Wait,
started just in Africa.
I didn't know
We did.
this.
That's right.
And now
Look
at
where we are now.
Yeah.
Now there's Jews.
No, that's where they are. That's where they were.
Humans.
Well, the Jews are from Africa.
Okay.
I just think I don't get that. Israel is in Africa.
No, it isn't. But
Yes, it is.
No.
Have you heard of Pangea much?
I have heard of Pangea. You mean the rave that I threw in 1997 at 2nd and Jackson in Oakland?
Theme music.
Is monkeypox really a thing? Are you worried
You're
about
literally vaccinated against it.
it? Not the newest strain you just said. But is
Not
it
the new one. Not the new one.
Is it really something that you're aware of?
I'm aware of it. I'm not afraid of it.
Why aren't you afraid?
I don't know.
Okay.
I maybe have had my fear tapped out by this other virus that we had kicking around.
COVID?
Cyrus?
Yeah, Cyrus virus.
Miley Cyrus virus?
No.
I have that.
Conair.
Oh yeah, Cyrus the virus.
Yeah.
Wait, was that a character or was
Steve
there a
Buscemi
virus?
Yes,
was
it was.
Cyrus
No,
the
no, it
virus.
wasn't. It was John Malkovich.
John Malkovich, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They occupy.
They were the
similar
same in the
territory.
mid-90s.
They really do.
Yeah. Speaking of viruses, let's talk about the Jews. Oh,
Ride the wave. Oh, you had it. Moshe's a good setup guy.
Yeah, I don't do punchlines, but I love a setup.
Let me hear one of your best setups that doesn't have a punchline.
Well, you could help me workshop a joke I'm thinking about right now.
Let's
I love it. Let's write a joke. I saw a TikTok recently that the guy was saying, do you know why all the bells in church bells in Europe were destroyed in World War II, and why there's no more church bells in Europe? It's because it contained the secret frequency that will cure all cancer, and they wanted to keep that information from us. And it's like, no, it doesn't, and no, they didn't. There are bells. Like there's something deeply wrong with a society where we've gone from don't trust doctors to bells are doctors.
Yeah.
Like there's something. Oh, okay.
Bells
But you're an easy thing about the bells.
But Esther's an easy laugh.
But
You're an
bells
easy
are
laugh.
doctors is I'm
Bells
like,
are doctors.
Yeah, they.
Wait,
I did get there.
that's because
Bells are my
Terrence
doctors.
Howard was on Rogan.
Oh man.
And he's into the whole like frequency things, right?
I worked with somebody who was on Empire recently, and I was like, "What's up with Terrence Howard? Like, when did this start?" She said, "It's always been that way, and that he will convince you." And I think it's the power of not saying I think that was a lot of it.
That's a great setup.
Wait, can I workshop a joke?
Yes.
Okay, so
but you guys didn't help
Throws
me
up
with
on herself
mine.
again.
You roasted me a little. You laughed, and it's done.
The power,
To me-
I thought about that before, but not, and that as a premise. The power of not saying is fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Go ahead, sir.
No, do we want to stay on yours?
No,
or-
not at all.
Okay. Now, I just want to preface this by saying I've never written a joke before, and I don't know how, and I thought this was
You
funny.
did an hour special.
I know.
Her parents did. Go
No,
on.
I thought-
You did a half-hour special in a documentary.
Exactly. True. This was I call my jokes areas because
Sure.
they're not jokes, they're just areas of things that I think I should say on stage. And this was one.
Poor girl.
And I said it to Dave yesterday, like thinking it was going to be a huge hit. And he was like, what's the joke? I don't get it. So I know that it's nothing.
Yeah, workshopping.
People say that you
First of all, I just want to say I love the delivery. Like the confidence of the delivery, I'm already in. I'm
Maybe
sold.
look down.
Yeah. Maybe say I'm a piece of shit before you
Hey,
start.
did you do this with your foot?
Yeah.
Or maybe twirl your hair?
Yeah, I want to say I'm a piece of shit that shouldn't be on stage just to
Okay.
start with, but people say
Before we get into this, it's good to be back. I'm a horrible piece of shit. Shouldn't be here.
they say marry your best friend. We've all heard it.
Oh, yeah. My mom's been saying it since I was a little boy.
Is that why you're married to your mom? Okay.
Boom. Okay, that was
Ooh,
very good.
Very good, Esther.
That was great. So it's a very weird setup to get to the is that why you're married to your mom punchline?
No. Okay. They say marry your best friend, but like,
How could I marry this burrito?
okay, pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
You set him up, I'll knock him down.
No, that's good because I don't know how to knock them down. But just like, this isn't a joke, but it's just an observation, I think. But like,
Just got
picture,
the raya.
Just got the light. Hasn't get started. I know I shouldn't be here. I'm a piece of shit. And this isn't even a joke.
The light's just a silhouette that says you're right, you shouldn't be up here.
got it. But like, picture you meet like a girl and you ask her who's your best friend and she says my husband, like, or like I meet a guy and my wife, like that's gross. That's the whole
Mm.
joke. Anyone?
Oh, my parents are best friends.
But isn't it like if
It is an area.
it is.
It feels like
Yes.
an area.
area
Yeah,
confirmed.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think I know how to turn that into a joke.
How?
Rick?
Well, I'll just say placeholders, but it's your point. So these aren't necessarily your points of view, but here's our examples of
I'd like to
things.
vote the burrito was great though.
No, that's
But-
not bad.
Thank you so much.
I
Yeah.
do like that, and yeah,
But it's a
No,
different area.
That's a one-liner and not a thing. So my
not a
thought
real,
would be
feeling.
to actually tell us why. For example, I'm going, like I just did XYZ. I don't want to talk to my wife about it. Like who is your best friend and how does that best friend differ from Dave? And
Yeah.
there's where your substance
I,
is.
I agree.
But to me, it's more about making fun of
One
the
second,
person.
Esther. Go ahead.
That's, go ahead. Did I?
no, you please.
Help me with this. I want to make fun of the person who says my wife is my best friend, my husband is my best. Like, if that's the advice, but you land in this like really lame, isolating place with no other friends, like that's where my brain is going.
But I think Rick's right. The funny part in there is what does a best friend actually do?
And to
Right.
you, it's the specificity
Right.
of it. There's also some backstory to this that you might be forgetting or not be conscious of. When we did a podcast at the end of 2019, when I was doing, it was the one we did that was the holiday one, the 8 Nights of Tyso. I referred to this type of person as, and you have since changed your opinion on this, as a partner. And you thought that term partner was so corny and dumb.
No, I didn't.
I have that. We've talked about this before, and I've cut to the clip. You did.
I didn't.
Partner. And you do that face that you make that looks like all your other faces where it's like, is she doing that on purpose? You're like, partner. And it's so stupid when you get partner. Oh, are we working together? It's my partner.
Well, why would you say partner?
Because-
That's what I don't get.
Because
Are you trying to keep some girl in a situationship? Like what? Why?
I feel that.
Partner is way more formal, Esther.
But
than
why won't he just say girlfriend?
They're not mutually
Partner is
exclusive.
weird. Partner is objectively a weird thing to say.
I'm
You
not
think
saying,
so?
I'm not
my
saying partner.
You're not just saying they're my partner. You're saying
Please
also
let me
I
offer
vote Democrat.
context.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm not saying this isn't my girlfriend. She's my partner. I'm saying there's girlfriend, there's partner, there's best friend. These are all types of relationships with this person. And part of the relationship I want from my partner is that I want a partner. I want someone who I could help and bring value to, who they could help me. A partnership is a subsection of the relationship.
Yeah.
And so is a best friend. So you think it's weird to be best friends. You think it's weird for them to be your partner.
I don't think it's weird to be best friends. Dave is my best friend. I'm not his,
Is
but
he your
he's
lover?
mine.
Would you call him your lover?
Yeah.
I call all of my romantic partners my lover.
Lover is my favorite.
You like that?
I love lover.
The worst.
So you like
lover.
This is my lover?
A lover.
It
But I
feels
wouldn't
silly, but I do
introduce
like it,
someone
yeah.
like as lover, but if I'm introduced as lover, I love it.
It means like I fuck her.
Yeah, but it's
This is
more
my
than
fuck
that.
person. I fuck this person.
Do you ever refer to people as that?
My fuck person? Yeah, but yeah, it's like that's a more Gen Z. I'm more of a Gen Z guy, so it's like how we say side piece. That's my fuck person.
It sounded like you were saying James Zitt something, and I thought, of course, he's going to reference an author.
Is that an author?
I just thought you knew an author.
Oh well, yeah, it is. Much as James Zitt says, call your best friend your fuck person.
What was the book?
From here to there, a love in 6 scenes.
Why do you have to say partner? Just remind us quickly.
Yeah, why do you say partner?
Because it doesn't make sense, and you haven't even used it since then. So, but why are you bringing this up?
Well, I'm bringing it up because partner is let's say your husband, right? He's your husband. What does that entail? What relationship qualities is that? Is he also like some people have relationships with people and they're not really friends? It's more just pragmatic. There's like this is.
Is that what you've done? I've never heard of that.
I mean, that's where marriage came from. Like the purpose of marriage was to join houses and
economical.
and to like help pair up in villages.
Right.
And then it became more open to choices. And then we got the opportunity, instead of arranged marriages or just the pragmatic aspect of it, of like, I want to marry someone who makes me laugh, who's like my friend. I want to marry someone who feels like my partner. They help me with my work, and
I'm going to be honest. You sticking around for my episode, I'm regretting. I'm regretting the choice.
You're right. You're right. I'm out.
No, I mean you're very charismatic and verbose, but I'm like,
there's nothing
hey,
there.
I got some. There's nothing there. I wasn't going to say that
too much. You're absolutely right. I wasn't even thinking about that. I forgot. We were just talking.
I have a very simple reason why I say partner instead of boyfriend.
You're my partner. Yes.
and it just, I'm almost 40, and it just doesn't feel right to say my boyfie.
I get that.
Yeah, it's a little bit ooh.
That does make sense. When you get to be the real adult zone and you say this is my boyfriend, you're like, well, you have emotional problems.
The way I described the guy that I'm seeing, how did I couldn't even say boyfriend to you earlier.
You said he's a man that I've been seeing for up to and maybe over a year.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's approaching the year mark or beyond.
I
get what you're saying. You don't want to do the joke, which is what Rick and I are chewing on, which is like a best friend is a guy who blank, covers up when you hit and run, whatever. You want what's wrong with a person who would be married, whose best friend is their husband.
I think I want, like, it's weird. You don't, what does that mean if you become a person who's, that's all you
Esther,
have?
tell us, what feels weird about it to you? What does that mean?
You have no friends. You're a guy's girl.
There you go.
Those kinds of things.
Your point of view is the only time that your husband or wife is your best friend is if you have no friends.
And then your husband married a loser.
Yeah. Okay. There's the joke.
Punchline.
I could have another special.
Let me try it. Your only reason you have a friend is your best friend is your husband. Then you're a loser. I'll try it.
You're gonna do it. And you got to get up there, Rick. Same energy. Okay, this is just an area.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about this. And then you look down.
I haven't performed in like 4 months, and
I have a question for you guys. Do you guys remember the Nicolas Cage movie It Could Happen to You?
yes, lottery ticket
With Rosie Perez?
No.
Do you?
No.
Okay, then I can't bring up this topic.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Rick is my only.
Oh.
Okay, so the premise is,
People
Rick.
hate me.
What?
Go ahead.
So the premise is,
I like this insecure Rick that Moshe has brought out.
Have I brought that out of you?
Yeah, I've never seen this before.
No, I mean,
I like it.
I just said one little thing about being
Oh, I agreed with you.
and I'm sorry.
Why can you never be insecure when you're with me?
I don't. No, I guess you've never brought anything to my perspective that I didn't already have awareness of.
Okay.
You don't offer
That'll
anything.
do it.
Is that fair to say? You don't offer anything? And I don't just mean on comedy. I mean like in the relationship. Like you're there.
Not
Henry Zitt
not a
said.
challenge.
Oh, no, I'm not challenged by her.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm playing basketball against a rock.
The country or a stone?
No, Dwayne Johnson. It's fun to be around, and it's very big. Takes up a lot of space.
That would be hard to play basketball
I'm
against
faster
the rock.
than him.
Yeah.
does he even play? I've never seen him.
He can do anything.
I'm sorry that I ruined this podcast.
He didn't.
Okay.
I'll leave now.
This podcast has been brought to you by Joel
Take your shoes off.
Etherton and Take Your Shoes Off podcast.
Moshe, I have a serious question.
Yes.
What do you think of Rick? Like, would you ever hang out with him? Like,
What do I think of Rick?
Like, would you hang out with him?
Should I? Well, what do you want? What do you want from this interaction? You want me to make fun of him? Or you want
Here's
me
what
to
you
be
do.
serious?
You answer it twice. One with me here and one when I'm not here.
Okay.
But I'll watch.
Which one's the one? You're here now? No. This is the one for you. I like Rick a lot. I think he's great.
But would you hang out with him?
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey man, it's been really cool.
Yeah, I'm going to call you later.
Yeah, cool, man.
Whatever mean shit you might say, I know it's not real because I think that, especially since the last time we podcasted, we've connected in a way that I've never had with him.
I'll tell you the truth in front of Rick's fucking face. I'll tell it to his face. I think he's good looking.
Oh.
There you go. Come on, buddy. There you go. No,
I'll be at the DC Improv September 28th.
Rick took me like 5 times to crack the
I hear that a lot.
the shell.
Yeah.
And once I got in there, I didn't like what I found for sure. No, I feel like he's like almost cousin energy.
Which is what I want from a wife.
Yeah,
I have that with
people
you.
say marry your best friend, but you should really marry your cousin.
Yeah, you wouldn't get that. But like, yeah, that's funny. All right. Sorry for my blind spots, and I had a nice time.
You're the
Good
best.
to see you.
It's okay. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Can I give you the premise of this old Nicolas Cage movie?
Oh yeah. Now that the dead weight left, let's talk about this movie no one else has seen but him.
Wait, it was a
Oh boy.
Talking about the lottery ticket?
yeah, it's the lottery ticket.
So you guys have seen Face Off, right?
Into the mic, Rick.
Okay, so Rosie Perez's character, Nicolas Cage, they're married.
Yes.
He goes to a diner. He's a cop. He goes to a diner that he frequents. And as like this kind of cute little joke, on the tip, he puts $2 million. Later that night, he actually wins the lottery. And
$2 million, I'm going to guess.
I think it's like $4 million or something like that. And then what happened? Did he just fall?
He fall?
That'd be cool if Rick fell.
I'm sorry, but he is so different with you.
Well, you know, gender is a thing. I mean, things start to switch up a little bit.
I've never seen him like take a hit like that. He changed.
Wait, which
small.
part? When I said I'm the lead guest?
Like whatever you insinuated, like it was your episode, like did you notice something you've never seen before from him? Like I did?
You see him more than me, though.
That's what's happening for me.
Yeah.
I am the lead guest.
Yeah.
And when Rick was here, he was talking, and now he's gone, and we're talking about Rick. And so I'm getting upset.
Let's change the subject then.
Okay.
Back to
What do you
lottery
think-
But I was giving
Can
you
we
a
just talk
compliment.
about, before we get to the lottery ticket, the
Yeah.
Take Your Shoes Off podcast? Like it's a deconstruction of the form in a way, you know, really. It's not typical, but also it feels familiar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't know.
saying things that I think but can't say. So thank you.
Okay. He wins $4 million.
Okay, so he wins some amount, and they collect a couple million or whatever. But because he's a nice cop,
Right.
he tells his wife, Rosie Perez, that
Wait, I'm confused. I thought Rosie Perez was. Oh,
The
there's a
wait-
random waitress.
there's a random.
Okay.
Who is this person? We don't know.
We don't know, but
Got
she's going broke.
Her
She's
career
really
didn't
hurt.
take off, so we don't know her name.
Right, we
But
don't
he
know.
did
her.
a prank tip.
Yeah, I think just to be cute or flirtatious, which is already kind of like, all right, dude, what are you doing? You're married.
Right. Also, if you're a waitress, you're like, no, I want 20%. Like, not
Right.
a
It's
joke.
rude. Yeah.
Yeah, give me
Right.
a fucking tip.
So, and then he tells her, Rosie Perez, he's like, we won the lottery. They're happy. He's like, oh, but fuck, I'm a good guy. I have to kind of like hold, I want to keep a promise. And then he gives away $2 million to this waitress.
Uh-huh.
The whole movie revolves around Rosie Perez being the villain because she's like, what the fuck? How can you give money to this random stranger? And growing up, I thought that Nicolas Cage and this waitress were in the right because it was this love story based around them. And
They fell in love.
they fell in love
Oh my
Right.
God.
eventually. And I'm just really upset about it. That's all I want to say.
Oh, you
I'm
now
upset.
realize that she's been vilified for having a very reasonable position.
Yes.
Which is why would you give half of our money away to a random stranger?
Right. And we're married. And
Right.
so, and growing up, everyone like latched on to this love story between him and the random waitress who gets the money.
Wait, who is the random? Is it Helen Hunt?
No, it's Bridget Fonda, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Esther, suppose you win $6 million, you and Dave both buy the ticket together. Same question to you,
You've
Moshe.
gone to Erewhon and they flip the thing around and it says a percentage and it says other amount and you type in instead $2 million. So just to update it so that Esther understands because she's from a different generation.
Okay.
And, well, let's flip it. Let's suppose
Flip
Dave
again?
tells you that, hey, I want to keep this promise to this random person I just met yesterday at the diner.
I would
And gives away
$3
$2 million.
I would instantly kill myself.
You'd kill yourself?
Yeah, I would be so upset and hurt that I wouldn't be able to live.
You wouldn't.
That's really cutting off your nose to spite your face.
I understand that.
Why not
That's
kill
very
him?
me.
And to keep the money.
Exactly.
Kill him and keep the money.
Or her.
Yeah, go to Erewhon and slice that smoothie maker's neck. She deserves it anyway. Putting that collagen Haley Bieber smoothie ass. Get the fuck out of here. $22 smoothie. You're gonna need that $2 million to buy your own smoothies.
I mean, that's like such a horrible betrayal. And it's so interesting. Like, I can't even imagine how this movie exists. Like, they make her seem like the bad guy. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
What are you? I don't know.
I'm trying to think of other movies that their oh my God. I was flying back from Austria, as we all
You
did
were in
recently.
Austria.
I was in Austria recently.
What for?
I was just traveling, having a good time.
How was it?
Well, Austria is complicated because much as Germany is complicated as a Jew, because it's so dope. It's so nice and everybody's so cool and so polite and so hot that you walk and everything's so clean. You're walking around, you're kind of going like, I get what they were thinking a little bit, wanted to clean the place up a bit. I can kind of see why they thought they were the masters. Like they kind of are the masters. You're like, wow, your jawbone, there's something good going on there. But anyway, Austria was like the sleeper hit. We went to, don't let me forget the movie corollary that I'm coming back to. But I went to south of France, south by south of, and I went to Italy. We were in Italy.
Where in Italy?
In Cinque Terre and in Sicily. Cinque Terre is
Whoa.
this like 5 village. You ever been?
Yeah, I've never been.
It's
but
cool. It's very touristy.
See it everywhere on
Very
the
beautiful.
Inst. Yeah.
It's these 5 villages that were like originally built like for, an old man with like a cheese wheel on his back to like walk from town to town to like deliver Chianti or whatever.
It's like picturesque.
You can't even imagine. And then every town has its own beach and that was awesome. But then Austria, basically we had this family that we hang out with that I'm old friends with the dad that they were doing like a National Lampoon like European summer. They were there all summer. So we were kind of just drafting on their thing a little bit.
I feel like you always need that.
Yes,
Like-
a leader.
Yeah.
Like a real kind of basic leader. He
Mhm.
was like, come on, Heidi Ho. It was that kind of, he's got like Heidi Ho energy, He's like, come on, we're to the Eiffel Tower. And then afterwards we'll go see the Mona Lisa. And then when we're done with that, we'll have a crepe. And he had like a whole thing. And I just barely can function. So I was
No,
just
I
like,
know.
follow that man.
I need that. Yeah.
I'll introduce you to this guy.
Okay.
But then they were going to Austria, and I wanted to go to one place I'd never been before. I've been to France, I've been to Italy, Austria. I wasn't that excited about it. Nazis, and it was definitely the sleeper hit.
Why?
It
How
was just
so?
a banger. Vienna's like the most beautiful. It's crazy. You feel like you're in a mansion everywhere you turn, but it's the city. Everything's gilded and gold and has intellectual, like historical, Vienna, there's coffee shops is where like Kafka and fucking like Trotsky used to like and Freud would sip their coffee and snort cocaine or whatever. Like it's just awesome. And then we went to Salzburg, which is where The Sound of Music was filmed. And
Ooh.
it's like a castle city, and it was just awesome. Everything about it was cool. No Jews. That was awesome. Like
That's
just
cool.
clean, clean.
And at least you
up.
feel a little special.
A little special.
Yeah.
It's funny too because Hitler's the Eagle's Nest is like 20 minutes from Salzburg, and I was like, I should do some Holocaust shit like while I'm here. Like as a Jew, like I'm like I should pay homage, but then I'm like, why would I want to pay $300 to go be depressed? Like I'm having a great time.
Wait, to see what?
Hitler's bunker, like his where they the Eagle's Nest. It was like his like vacation. Why do I want to
His
do
lair.
Whoa.
his lair? It was definitely
Yeah.
full on his lair. Anyway, on the ride home,
Uh-huh.
I was watching, as you do, a million movies, and I watched The Blind Side, and I was
right.
like, there should be a category on Netflix, which is racist but good,
Yeah.
but also bad. It's like
Uh-huh.
it's so much worse than you. Have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen it?
With Sandra
I know what
Bullock,
it
yeah.
is, but I don't know why it's bad, and I know that's problematic of me.
No, it's just it's hilariously like it's
Really?
hilariously
Didn't
problematic.
it get Oscar noms?
I'm sure it did.
I'm pretty sure it did.
And it's so funny how like 20 years goes by and something just does it don't hit anymore. But it also is good. You're like, I can't believe they made this, but you would never turn it off.
That's how I feel about Glitter. It's like, it's good.
What's Glitter?
The Mariah Carey movie.
Oh yeah. That's how I feel about the Star Wars prequels. They're good, but they're bad.
We talk about
Yeah,
Jar
we
Jar
talk-
Binks a lot around
Jar Jar,
here.
yeah.
I can tell you my favorite thing about Jar Jar Binks. Is the other Gungans or whatever. That's what they're called, Gungans. His race.
Impressed that you know that. I didn't.
They're
I
called
didn't
Gungans.
either.
They aren't like that. They don't talk like him. They're regular. I mean, one of them is weird, but most of them are like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a Gungan." He's literally like a Jamaican guy. Like they just made a choice for him. I love Jar Jar Binks. He makes a "excuse me" joke. He says "excuse me" more than one time.
Do you know that he was on the cover of Rolling Stone?
Jar Jar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Just to
year.
give you like a reminder of what we lived through and what we've overcome
Mhm.
as a society.
Excuse me, Jar Jar. He says "excuse me." He does one other thing too. He does another like it's almost like he says "schwing" or something like another like joke from a sitcom or a movie. Oh, Jar Jar.
I wonder if Jar Jar Binks like was the catalyst to why those types of movies like get comedy people involved because they're scared of another.
Oh, of going down the Jar Jar
Yeah.
road. You know, George Lucas was really passionate about Jar Jar.
No
And
way.
Yeah, and he really thought that Jar Jar would be like R2D2 or you know Chewbacca. Like people would fucking love Jar Jar, and he was deeply hurt by
but-
people's reception of it.
But I think that it's coming back around. I think there is a whole generation of people very endeared to him.
Yo, I have the hottest take. I just with you saying it. You know how young people dress like shit,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good.
Yeah.
But they're
Uh-huh.
like, no, I'm cool. I saw a girl in a coffee shop today. I was like, I knew this was going to happen. That irony has sped up to such a degree that you can look at someone and you can't tell if they're like the hippest person in
Right.
the world or they never caught up
Right.
or they're anyway. So the sort of Gen Z, like, I don't give a fuck, I'll dress bad on purpose thing.
the
Yeah.
irony, yeah.
That's Jar Jar.
Yeah, it's Jar Jar.
That's why that must be why they love him.
Mhm.
Oh, see, I thought it was just the irony of like something that was so hyped and then failed so tremendously.
Well, this is the same reason why I specifically seek out 0% on Rotten Tomato movies.
And you watch them?
And I watch them
Oh, what's
religiously.
like what? Tell me.
There's this one Christian film that
If
back
you
to
say
Nick
drugstore
Cage.
June, I'm gonna be a little mad.
There's this one Nick Cage movie that he did. I think
You only watch Nick Cage movies? Is that right?
I've been going through an old because like in the Philippines, there's only a few things that truly made it as like blockbuster hits over there, and we all watch it in the movie. So I actually watched Face Off in the movies as well. But it's a Christian movie with Nicolas Cage, and he's in it with a guy from One Tree Hill. It's a sleeper hit. If you haven't watched it ever, please seek it out. It's one of the best movies ever.
1,000 Words is on that list. The Eddie Murphy vehicle. I've seen it. It's really rough. I don't know if it deserves a 0, but I've seen 1,000 Words. On another airplane, I once watched a man watching 1,000 Words. It's a bad movie.
But that's why it's especially entertaining when
Yes.
you. So it's called Left Behind. Left
Behind is classic. That's Kirk Cameron, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Left Behind is a book that swept the evangelical world. Every evangelical Christian you know has read Left Behind. It changed their world.
But specifically watch the motorcycle scene when they're on like the airport like runway, and it is I rewind that scene over and over and over again.
Oh, no. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm conflating two different things. This is the Nick Cage vehicle Left Behind. There's another book that became a movie but that's based on the Left Behind series that stars Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains.
But it might be because he's like super Christian,
Yeah.
right?
Nick Cage is?
No, Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron is.
Yeah,
I want to watch Left Behind. We should do a watch party.
we really should.
Anyway, I saw a guy watching 1,000 Words, which was on your 0%.
Yeah.
I watched him watch it on an airplane, and he was literally slapping his knees laughing out loud for the entire flight from LA to New York, slapping his knee, watching a 0% Rotten Tomato
Like
comedy.
liking it or laughing at it?
Loving it on a level I've never loved a movie. Like,
Laughing with it.
yes, just thinking it was the most hilarious thing he'd ever seen in his life.
People on planes, you can really find some different senses of humor if
Yeah.
you just look around the plane.
But I think there really is something for everybody because my mom, like at 1 o'clock in the morning, she's like, you have to watch this new movie. I'm like, what is it? And it was the Anne Hathaway falling in love with a young boy movie that just came out. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Your mom
Mom?
is so horny.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly. I was like, are you just like super horny? Because
Is it bad?
I thought it was like unwatchable for
You
me.
like Anne Hathaway?
I do love her.
You guys seen Rachel Getting Married?
No, I want to. I hear it's good, right?
It's one of the most amazing, beautiful movies you'll ever see. It makes Anne Hathaway make so much sense.
Wait, I need to like that's
must
been
watch.
on my list like from 10 years ago
I
and I
would
never
say
watched
1,000
it.
words, The Blind Side, and then Rachel
But The
Getting Married.
Blind Side should just be under the category of like white savior, right?
Yeah,
Along
but
with
it's-
like,
But it's so far. Here's the thing: we have white savior stories now, but because we become savvy to the trope and the offensiveness
Mhm.
of it, they do like work to try to offset it.
uh-huh.
This was like OG pioneer days white savior story. So none of it. Like there's a scene where the black kid is like rapping with his white little brother, and they're like it's Tone Loc, and they're like putting on sunglasses and it's so far beyond.
Wait,
I mean,
more so than Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer?
you know, it's been a very long time since I saw Dangerous Minds, but it's crazy. There's a moment where she's talking to her racist friends. You know that scene,
Yeah.
or like ladies who lunch, and they're like, "I think it's great what you did. You saved that little boy's life." And she goes, "He saved our lives." And it's just like, how did they write this? How are you in with a computer not going, "Wow, this is too corny"? But it wasn't corny then. Racist, but good, but also bad.
The Help was like that too. I remember like
Oh, the
Yeah,
hell.
the help was, but again, what he's saying is
it
it's
adjusted slightly.
they adjusted it. There was still you could still mask it. Same with like the Tom Cruise Ken Watanabe one, The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I would like to write a white savior film, but I want to subvert. And I don't exactly know how to do it, but someday I would like to do this. I want to write like a black savior or a person of color savior, like to switch it. But I don't know how. I'm trying to figure the dynamic. You know.
I have a pitch.
Yeah, please.
Okay, there's this thing that very wealthy Chinese people do, and they'll take broke, like destitute but handsome like Americans and enslave them in China.
What?
What do you
And
mean
like
enslave?
not enslave, but like hire them as the help.
Whoa, to be their butler?
Yeah, so basically it's like a sign of like I have like conquered the Western white man.
Yes. Oh,
And-
that's awesome.
So I think there is something there. That's like the reverse of white saviorism, I
It's
think.
just white subjugation.
Yeah, subjugation.
That's what I'm so glad you brought that up. That's what I wanted to talk about on this podcast in the first place.
You guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This can be a very awkward conversation amongst friends, peers, family, coworkers, you name it. It's awkward. However, with Rocket RX, you can get trusted FDA-approved treatments for erectile dysfunction at a lower price than branded alternatives.
And if you experience erectile dysfunction, you're not alone. Did you know that there's an easy way to have better sex? Get trusted FDA-approved treatments for erectile dysfunction at a lower price than branded alternatives. Delivered straight to your door in discreet, plain packaging, no in-person appointments or pharmacy visits needed. It's better sex made simple.
You can complete a 100% online quick and easy consultation now with no in-person appointment needed. And for our listeners, you can get 20% off your first order. Use code TRASHTUESDAY. Go to rocketrx.com and enter code TRASHTUESDAY at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's 20% off your first order at rocketrx.com and using code TRASHTUESDAY at checkout. Follow the link in the description.
They want to replace us. Have you guys noticed that? I went to Austria. Okay, let me just start there. I went to Austria. I learned a lot of things.
Wait, I am curious, was the food good?
Austrian food is like it's very Austrian. It feels like what a hunter would catch and what a cow woman would squeeze. Like it's all cheeses and meats and potatoes, and it feels like what you do after a long day of hunting Jews or whatever. You know, like. But they had a dessert that was called. It was one of the best desserts I've ever had. It's a Salzburg dessert. I love Europe. America is so like. I mean, I love America because it's the greatest country that's ever existed in the history of time.
Obviously.
But in terms of food, like you go to Europe and you're just like, thank God I live in a place where like every kind of person lives, because Italy, the best food in the world. Enough with the fucking Italian food. Like after a week, you're like, enough with the pasta, guys.
Oh, I've never looked at it that way.
Oh, let's move on. Here in town, in LA, every single day you could eat a different nation's cuisine, and you never feel like it's an exotic experience. But there's but I do love the specificity of a Salzburg dessert. I mean, is there any city-based dessert?
A city-based dessert.
I feel like there is.
Yeah,
but
there
I
has
don't
to
know.
be.
Anyway, what was it called? It's like it's one of the, I have to look it up because it's worth it.
Okay, now I'm really confused because I feel like having the best version of one cuisine all the time might be better than
No.
having access to a
No.
variety of mid.
Oh, it's called
But it's not mid.
it's called it's not mid. What's mid?
I
Margie
would,
Raba.
I would say that the food we have access to in LA is mid, probably compared to the highest quality food you're getting in Italy of just Italian food.
I don't think so. Because
Wait, one more time, because I was stuck in the fact that I mispronounced the name of what's her fucking name? You know, Barbie.
Margot Robbie.
You got to cut that out of the
What?
podcast.
I didn't even hear it.
You know Margot Robbie is mid? You know about that?
Yeah.
I was making a little joke about that, but I called her like Margot Robot or some shit. And then I couldn't even get it right. I just need that cut. It needs to be cut
We'll bleep it.
because it'll fuck up sort of my
Energy.
Oh wait,
flow.
here's
No, you
a
can keep it
city-based
in.
food, key lime in Florida.
key lime. Yeah.
What
But we have
else?
it everywhere. This is called, and I know this is going to sound like a racial slur, and it's likely that it is because it was Austria, but it's called the Salzburger Knockrel.
And what is that?
Knockrel.
I
Can I get a
never guess.
knockrel? And it's an egg white souffle served hot like a mountain. Look at it. Put it up on the screen. Oh yeah, give it to them. Look, knockrel. You spell it. Well, I'm not going to tell you how you spell it. Let's see if you can get it right. Knockrel. Nockerl. Knockerl. And that was one of the best things I ate. That
And
was
it's
the best.
just an egg white souffle?
Yeah.
Is there anything inside it, over it?
Khalyla's unimpressed.
Look at-
I
yeah.
am quite unimpressed so far.
It's good though. It's all fluffy like a cloud. It's like a meringue, but it's hot, and they pour we got it with like a yogurt, a frozen yogurt with raspberries underneath. It's so
I
good.
want it
Okay, yeah.
now.
Austria's eggy dessert. Doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah.
This is what they were trying to preserve. This is what they were fighting for.
I will
ruined
say
it.
to what you were saying earlier, when you go to Japan, you find the best Indian food,
Oh, yeah.
you find the best pasta, best Italian, best everything
Just Japan,
there.
but okay. Take Japan out. It's not even fair. You just don't involve Japan
That is
because
true.
Japan just does everything the best. So they're out. You want to hear I'm so excited to bring this to you guys. I have actually a racist theory about desserts.
Okay.
Okay. But you'll see that I actually buy it back at the end and I retain my charm. Okay.
I'm ready.
no-
I'm buckling up.
No country has good desserts other than America. And it goes basically America, France, England, and then kind of everything else.
Oh my God, my ranking is so different.
What do you got? You're wrong. What do you got?
I think anywhere in the Middle East has
Oh,
maybe top 3.
Insane.
What am I trying to eat? What, hay and rose?
Baklava?
No.
Baklava?
Okay, but Asian pastries
Oh, you're out. Don't
are
get. Oh,
by
yeah.
far superior
You're so
to
right.
all.
You're so right. Why didn't we think of adding beans to our dessert palette?
Don't you dare shit on Adzuki beans.
Okay, now let me tell you how I win my charm
Okay.
back before we finish this fight.
Okay.
I include my own people. Jewish desserts are at the bottom of the
Of
list.
course.
Just dusty,
Dry.
with memories of dead ancestors,
Raisins, I feel like.
raisins and dust, and it's just all awful. Italy's got some stuff to say. Now, some countries have a dessert that is in the top ranking, right? People
Uh-huh,
always go, well, what
right.
about Thailand? Right?
Right.
Say what about Thailand?
I mean,
Mango
of
sticky
course.
rice.
Oh,
Yeah,
mango sticky
mango-
rice. Then I say, oh yeah, that's a great dessert. What's your second favorite Thai dessert?
I don't
This
know.
is where it all falls apart.
But
This
do
is
you-
I have so many.
Well, I love that you're from the Philippines and you can fight this fight.
Yeah, I will fight this fight.
Yeah, you guys have balut. It's one of the great desserts of all time.
Oh no.
What is balut?
Oh, Esther, I don't think you want to know. It's basically a duck fetus.
It's a partially
That's a dessert?
gestated.
It's not. It's a whole meal. It's not.
It's a meal in one.
not a dessert
you've shown me
category.
this
It's not just a whole
before.
meal. It's many meals. It's breakfast and lunch in one.
Have you eaten that?
Of course, it's delicious.
It's
It's
good?
really delicious, guys. But you
yeah.
just have to get over the fact that it is like they rank it right. It's like how many days old.
Right. Some of them are crunchy.
When some of them you get the beak and then the feathers. It's a whole
You are a
experience.
nasty girl.
I'm a nasty girl.
I like it.
I'm straight nibbling on beaks over here in Manila. Okay, so what's your ranking?
Anywhere in Asia trumps anywhere else in anywhere else in the world.
So China would have like some of the great
China,
desserts.
Korea,
Yeah.
Philippines. I think
What's your,
Filipino bread is.
what's your favorite Chinese dessert?
Let me see. Oh
Mhm.
God, a lot.
Yeah, a lot to pour through. Got your almond cookie. You got your jellied ice.
All of it.
What do you
the
got?
Taiwanese desserts, like the
Taiwan. But again, Taiwan's doing a Western borrowing thing.
You think?
I did have a great dessert in Taiwan. A really good dessert.
What was it?
Oh my God. It was.
Don't say the pineapple cake.
No, not the pineapple cake. It's the. Have you been to Taiwan?
Yes.
It's like a crepe with ice cream and peanut brittle shaved down,
that sounds
and then
good.
cilantro in it. And then they put cilantro in. I swear to God,
Cilantro
though,
is good on everything.
I
You're
swear to God,
nastier
though.
than
I agree.
her.
I know. I eat beak. I eat cilantro for dessert. That was good. It was like a peanut and ice cream and crepe and cilantro, and then they roll it up. That shit was good. But it doesn't compare. America? America's the best.
Give it to me.
Here's the problem with America. And somebody did actually point this out to me, that my argument is bullshit, because this is the closest anyone's ever come to defeating me in this argument, which is that America, all they did was take everybody else's dessert and make them better. So they didn't really like innovate. Like
That's allowed.
chocolate cake is just like a Viennese chocolate cake. Apple pie, that's just a strudel, but we do it better. We do it better. France, they got a lot of good shit. Floating islands, creme caramel. They got creme brulee.
But their flavor profiles are just so different. Because I watched the Great British Bake Off religiously. And anytime that there's a Southeast Asian, South Asian, or ethnic person on the show, and they're like, hey, here's the thing I'm using. I'm using pandan, or I'm using yuzu. There's, whether it's Prue or Paul Hollywood, they're always like, interesting. But they just never acquired the taste for that. So you can't really like compare,
But
I don't
see,
think.
I hear you, but what I'm saying something different, which is pandan and yuzu, bring that shit to America and put it in give me a yuzu cream pie. Hell yeah, I'm into it. You give me a dusty ass bean and yuzu bun or whatever, I can't do it. But no place is good. Italian cookies, bad. They got good ice cream. They do have good ice cream.
Good ice cream.
Who are we attributing as the founders of like chocolate chip cookies and ice
That's
cream?
America.
Then I think he's right. Also, Oreos is like a pretty big win.
Yep.
Is that a strictly American thing?
I mean, I think I wouldn't put Oreos in the greatest desserts category.
Oh.
Oreos?
Oreo ice cream?
But
I mean, Oreos are good, but I mean, that's like saying like the greatest chocolatier is Snickers.
Wouldn't you argue though that Oreos is just
flavor.
Oreos because it's American? Because we had versions of our Oreos, but just under a different name and under a different
What's the top dessert in the Philippines? Like, what's the most common thing?
and a lot of coconut based stuff and a lot of rice based stuff. A lot of our pastries are mostly like a rice base.
Is it? Do you love?
Love.
What's
Really?
the best?
There's no best. They're all good.
I can't
all
say.
good.
I can't speak to this. I've never done it. I've never gone there. I've never tasted it. I do want to go to Kuya Lord because I heard that's
Kuya
really
Lord's is good. Yeah.
I want to go there.
Yeah. Kuya Lord. It's on Melrose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good Filipino food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go watch Rachel Getting Married, Left Behind, and follow it up with a little bit of a chaser of balut. You know, I once saw a video that taught me a new way to open a banana, and I've done it ever since.
Oh, no.
Is this an exclusive? This is apparently the way monkeys...
What did I say? What did I say?
What?
I'm not wrong about this.
What?
Is that you put a man in front of a banana and he will absolutely explain to you the new way he learned how to open a banana.
Damn, I can't believe I walked into a meme of your podcast. But it is true. Okay.
It's actually only even.
Has someone else done this?
Lamorne. Do you know Lamorne?
It's got to all be the same trick. There can't be more.
But in my life, every single man has mansplained how to open a banana
that
to
is
me.
crazy.
And
So-
I'm the banana eater.
What is it though? I want to know.
Someone else on the podcast has done this?
Just Lamorne Morris. Do you know
Okay,
him?
well, it's just, I don't know if it's the same technique, but it's basically you take the banana and you just go like this. Is that what he said? No, that wasn't it. No.
Good save.
And then you kind of, and then you can just stuff it in
I
like
have
that.
to say I've never seen that, and I want to.
It's really
won't
cool.
win
And it's much more, no, Lamorne must have done is this the thing where you squeeze the top?
Yeah.
I was panicking and needed something to do, and I feel good about what I chose. But yeah, this is good. And this isn't mansplaining, it's ape-splaining. Because this is apparently the way chimps will eat them. So you got a little handle.
I just want to say we panic so differently.
Yeah.
Like the fact that
So I go harder.
you pulled something off like in a panic is so brilliant.
That was so good.
A lot of things went through my mind of what to do. I thought about doing my boot, but then I care more about my boot than scoring on a podcast.
You have banana mush on your mic.
I know. I feel very
No,
self-conscious.
just on your mic.
Oh no. All right.
funny.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
Please, that just made my day.
Okay, Esther, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
How much to eat balut?
Oh yeah.
How much
What's your
would
price?
Everything is different now that I've transformed myself by motherhood.
Oh, it's different to eat a fetus now.
No, not the way you'd think.
She's a savage now.
Oh, you're more really? Are you
Like-
nastier?
A little nastier, yeah. Like explain it. Like is the texture? What is it? Am I gonna know I'm eating a fucking baby?
Taste wise, you're not really gonna. It's not too far off from a boiled egg.
Oh, it's not meat like?
It is. It is like meat. Like you still taste the boiled. If you like boiled eggs is the general flavor of it all. The only thing is you do have to crack the top, and there is a juice you have to drink.
Oh
beforehand.
man, I'm out. I'm so out on the juice.
But here you can
balut
add
juice.
Balut juice. But you can add hot sauce. You can add whatever you want.
It's like
mask
duck
flavor.
fetus juice.
How adventurous are you? Like outside of that, like do you eat fish eyes and brains?
No, I'm not wild like that.
Me
No.
either.
I
What is your craziest? How adventurous
thing that I have ever eaten?
Yeah, like how?
Well, what's the craziest thing? I like to eat at really creative chef type of places. Like I've eaten at Alenia in Chicago, and that was really crazy, but not in the way you're describing it. It wasn't like extreme. It was more like artistic or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
gastronomical.
yeah, but like they were setting things on fire and mists, and
Was there anything kind of nasty there?
I don't think Alinea does.
Oh no! Well, there was one thing they had that it was my favorite course. They do a bunch of different courses. It's a crazy experience. Like,
was it really good? Like, do I need to do it?
I thought for me it was like going to. I had another major realization in the south of France, by the way, because I went to a Michelin star place and I was like, I think I'm out on this. It's been a big part of my life growing up. Like I love fancy. When I was a little kid, we grew up pretty like broke, and on my birthday I would ask to go to a fancy restaurant instead of get a birthday present. So like I love food in that way, but I think I can't do it anymore. Like the Michelin level.
Why?
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
And the disappointment factor is so huge if you spend that much money and you're not like blown away. And most of the time they substitute craft for delicious. Like there's nothing where you're going, this is straight up delicious. Like I go to San Gabriel Valley and eat Szechuan food. Yes. And it's so much more delicious than the shit I'm paying a fucking.
I have so much respect for you for SGV eats.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
This is such a like groundbreaking take. I'm so excited by it because also if something, first of all, you're so right. Like it needs to be delicious, but also even if it was just one bite is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the variety of taste, again, variety is not key for me. I want like really good.
Maybe you should move to Italy because honestly, all they have is Italian food. It is, and it's the best Italian food you'll ever have. But at a certain point, I'm like, give me a taco, man. Like, what am I doing here?
So, are you getting to that?
Oh, Alenia
is not worth it, or is
okay? So in general, I feel like I'm out on Michelin star, like super fancy. I still like a nice place, but super fancy. It's just not worth it. But Alinea was much more for me like going to a show in Vegas than eating a meal. I mean, it was definitely eating a meal. I left full, and it was really good. Some of it was a little weird, and I didn't love it. But it was much more like watching a master like do a magic show. Like you go in and you're sitting at a table, and then everybody has to like bring part of your cup to a fountain, and you all pour your cup in, and then it becomes the opening beverage, and then they bring you to the kitchen. And when you come back from the kitchen, they cook a dish in front of you at the kitchen, and when you return from the kitchen, they've reset the room so it feels like you've walked into a new room.
Oh,
and like,
this is like a show.
it's like a show.
Yeah.
And the course, there's a lot of food, but the course that I remember, they bring out an ashtray, and it's smoking. There's like some substance, and there's like literally cherry, like embers on top of it smoking. And it was a tobacco course, and they brought potato chips that were like infused with cigarette tobacco.
What are you?
And and then the dip was it was a French onion dip, like a smoked French onion dip with cigar something. Anyway, it sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite. It was straight up delicious, and it felt like drugs a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm also sober, so I take the fun where I can get it.
Yeah, no,
But
I feel you.
But I think there's like two categories of when you want to go eat. I mean, if you like, there is the show, and then there is just more down home, like bigger portions, good flavor, bang for your buck.
But who and when are you who's ever wanting a show?
A fancy thing like us to celebrate a big moment when you're in the south of France, maybe you're like, oh, there's the place. There's the place in the south of France. We went to the place in the south of France.
It is exciting for me because it is such an art form.
Yeah.
Like when you see the way things are plated, what flavor profiles are being combined, like you said, with the cilantro added to the dessert.
That was one of the best things.
And it is so creative in that way. So I understand it and I can appreciate it. Now, am I going to walk away being like, wow, that was worth, $2,000 for me to be half full? Not necessarily, but it is like very memorable. You're like, oh, it is very like, oh, that's amazing. I could have never thought of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, here's an area, speaking of food, and we can change the subject off food. We talk about food a lot. Whatever you guys want to do, it's your podcast. But is this anything? A good way to get people to go vegetarian is to start calling meat body. Is that funny at all?
No,
Body?
because I'm somebody who like
not
when
you.
When
You
say,
eat fetus, but like
you're right. Because when I hear entrails, I'm like,
let's go get some body. You guys want to go get some body? Like some duck body or some cow body? No, is that just that's a zero area?
It's not a zero. It just is so
like
unsettling.
Yeah,
but that might be a good thing.
That's my comedy. I guess.
I think that if you introduce it now to adults, that will get someone to be a vegetarian. But I was raised with my dad. My favorite thing to eat when I was younger was when my dad would announce, guess what we're having tonight? And we'd be like, what? And he'd be like, pig knuckle. And we'd be like, pig knuckle.
You are
pig
so
knuckle.
interesting.
And we'd be so.
What is it? It's like a Nutty Professor. It's like pig knuckle, pig knuckle. All the kids are coming out. Wait, what's pig knuckle taste like?
Pig knuckles.
What?
Stop it.
I don't get what that means nothing to me.
No,
Pig knuckle seems like it's just bone.
Like in Asia, we eat the feet and all parts of the animal,
like slurping the meat off of the joint kind of a thing?
So it's similar to oxtail, kind of.
I never had oxtail. You had an oxtail, Esther?
No. What is
very
that?
good. Like ossobuco's oxtail.
Yeah.
But all parts of the animal, so delicious, kind of like cartilaginous. Is that how you say it?
Maybe cartilagey.
Cartilagey?
No, I mean I don't
Cartilage
know. Cartilage forward.
Yes, cartilage forward.
What would you eat? Stir fried rat?
I would eat anything.
Rat, you would?
Like protein.
I saw this great episode of Bizarre Foods. Andrew
With
Zimmern.
Andrew?
I
It's
thought
so
you were
good.
going to say the episode of The Simpsons where they found out the kids were drinking rat milk. But anyway.
No, although I will tell you about an episode of The Simpsons. One time I was with this girl. I was like really in love with her. We might be getting off food right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Possible. I won't, but that means I'm not going to tell you the Andrew Zimmern story. But anyway, I was with this girl and I was really in love with her. And she was coming out to California and we were going to do a trial run of our relationship. She lived in New York. We were going to do a trial run of our relationship.
What does that look like? Like live together for a little bit?
She was coming out for a week and we were we were trying to figure out if were workable. And part of the conversation as a couple, and because then maybe one of us would move to the other person. So we were doing come for a vacation. It was like a vacation, but there was a lot of pressure. For some reason or another, there's a lot of pressure. So we had this conversation about what do we do if it's too much for us to stay in the same apartment together for 2 weeks or a week or however long she was staying.
This is already so stressful.
It was
I know.
listen, I'm very glad I'm not dating anymore, but this is the kinds of things that dating renders, right? So the agreement was if it gets too much, that she would stay at a friend's house, but we would try it together, whatever. Long story short, we got into this like kind of fight early in her visit, and she went and stayed at this friend's house as we had agreed, and she like fucked this friend of mine like an hour after she left, right? It was this big drama. She didn't come home, and I was just like, I mean, it was hard to say she cheated on me because we weren't like, it was like still, but it was pretty much she cheated on me. Anyway, I was really upset, and she's like, oh, what? I don't know. It's one thing led to another. They were giving tattoos at his house, and I got a tattoo, and I was like, you got a tattoo? Like you left here and went and got a tattoo and then fucked my friend? Like, what the fuck? And then I go, what is it? And I see the tattoo? And she pulled like I don't remember where it was, but it looked so much like Blinky, the three-eyed goldfish from the Simpsons episode. You remember the three-eyed goldfish?
Yeah.
Like she was trying to get a koi fish. It was that era of time.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like a cartoon. It looked like Blinky that I like laughed so hard at her tattoo that it almost like washed my pain away. And I kind of was like, I mean, I'm definitely not going to date you anymore, but I think we're good. You have to live with that fucking tattoo. You've served your time. I'm not kidding. It looked like that, but it was supposed
unintentionally.
to be. No, yes, it was supposed to be a koi fish. Hopefully she doesn't listen to this
Oh.
podcast because she'll know.
It honestly kind of sounds like she does.
What? Listen. Oh,
Listen.
yeah, 100%.
She sounds like she fits our profile.
She was messy.
Wait, that is such an interesting thing though, because even with the right person, like having those first 2 weeks of living together is a nightmare.
Well, my whole thing was like, you know that Natasha's my first serious relationship?
Really?
Yeah, like I never dated anybody. I dated
So you
peop-
married your first girlfriend?
I married my first girlfriend, yeah. And it's like, I would date people intensely or I would date people casually, but they never went together as, there was never both intense and long.
Wait, why
Does that
couldn't
make
the
sense what I'm
intense
saying?
ones stay long? Because they
Yeah.
were either
Because I would date,
Burn out.
either we would burn out or I had a lot of long distance relationships. Long distance relationships are like the ultimate for an emotional coward because you get all the like juice. You do that, yeah, like all the juice of like the heart pounding.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I miss you so much. I can't wait to see you, but
Yeah.
none of the like
you
nasty work.
constantly eat the top of the muffin over and over and over
Yes,
again,
that's
and like
exactly it. Yes.
the constant like reunion. Oh yeah, I get it.
It's drugs. It's just drugs. It's
For-
drugs, the relationship. And you can have all the like the druggy parts of an intimate relationship without any of the worky parts.
Yes.
And the work is
It really because I dated a boy in Australia and then Spain and then just I never understood. I was like, oh, I'm just like, I'm into like foreign boys, but I'm like, no. The further they were, the better for me. The bigger the dopamine during the
totally.
reunion, like more fantastical in your head.
I have a rule actually about this because we do a dating relationship advice podcast. You've both been on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so good.
And people often will call in with their long distance thing. Young people are lost, and they are. I would say the problems become tropified. You start to hear the same call again and again. My rule is you get one long distance relationship and then you have a pathology. At two, you have a psychological disorder that's making you do these long distance. One, you have a star-crossed lover. Who knows? Paris is calling. Oh, you just, how can you know? Love doesn't have rules. Two, you're the problem.
I completely agree. And I think that even while I was dating in these long distance relationships, I knew it was a pathology.
Yeah, me too.
I was very aware of why I was so stuck on them.
Me too.
What, like you literally knew that this was like the safest option for you or something?
Yeah, there was the distance. I still had my autonomy.
Yep.
I still had my freedom to do things. But more importantly, it was the dopamine of being far away and then having that like beginning all over again
Yes.
was so intense and so gratifying for me. And I would create these like fantasies about how we would like reunite and what we would say in the first 3 days of never leaving your bedroom, and it's all sex.
And it can stay in the realm of fantasy
Yeah.
because it never sinks down into the real world. I mean, real world relationships, as we all know, are like, there's a lot of unromantic shit that goes down. And
mostly
then you have
unromantic.
Mostly unromantic, right? And at certain point, you have to like go mining for romance.
Yeah.
You have to like do extra work. And having kid, I don't mean to break this to you. Having a kid compounds it by like a factor of a million, because then then all of a sudden you've got this roommate, and they're the least. It's like, even though they're a product of your romance, they're the least romantic thing in the world, and you have differing views about it, and so you have to like work so hard to keep that flame kindled. But long distance is just flame kindling. That's all that it is. It's just.
I feel like, okay, I know this isn't the right takeaway, but it is a takeaway. I feel like there should be a service, like a dating service, where you're just pursuing long distance relationships, because it sounds so good that I want the people who want this to like have it.
Yeah. What would we call that? Unavailable. I have a dating app pitch, by the way.
What is it?
You know about Raya?
Yes.
You know, Raya was originally like supposed to be for like people in the entertainment industry and like famous people, but then it was unsustainable because there weren't enough customers. You can only sign up Orlando Bloom so many times, right? So
until he meets Katy Perry.
Then it became kind of open to like anybody in LA who's hot and has a big hat, right?
Yeah.
And like is a photographer, right? So I want to go back to its roots and get. I don't want to ruin Raya, but I want to have a Raya service only for A-listers. It's called Raya Prime, and you sign up. You got to sign up to Raya Prime, and usually sometimes the people, when I tell people that, they think it's funny, and this isn't one of those cases. This is we went in a different direction. I told it to you. I would say a stony silence.
but with the Raya Prime, the pool would be so limited, and I do think that men on Raya do not necessarily go for the
alpha female.
They go for
right.
the 24-year-old hottie model who got a referral from a friend of a friend. And
you know how many friends I have? These are the comedians I hang out with. You know how many friends I have that have been on like a Raya waiting list for like 2 years?
Wait, we have people on this podcast all the time, right?
Yeah, we had Young Gravy who says someone at Raya hates him.
Yeah.
Oh, Young Gravy can't get on Raya?
Yeah.
That sounds hard to believe. He's being hip pocketed by Raya.
I think so. I hated Raya. I think Raya is just it's like once you get we match and this person finds whatever, and then you just move on. You never speak. You nothing.
It's just so inherently classist. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But I also get it. It must be difficult to be Orlando Bloom. It ain't easy to be Bloom.
I mean, he seems like he's doing great with Katy Perry.
I didn't, to be honest with you, know that they were together until this moment.
That's insane to me.
Crazy.
They have a baby. It's been a long, successful pop star marriage.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see love bloom in that way.
First of all, this weekend, Dave and I, we were out of town. He showed me his TikTok algorithm. I'm like, I don't know this person.
Oh, what is it?
It's just we're so different.
But you can't judge him because you're not fully in charge of your algorithm. Mine's mostly like Turkish kebabs and evangelical Christian preachers. Like,
wait, that sounds like I could have guessed that.
Really?
Yeah. You built that brick by brick. That is very, very
kebab
specific.
By kebab, like crafted. I mean, the thing about the Christians is like, when I scroll, like when I see like a guy in drop crotch pants and like smoking a vape talking about the Bible, I'm like, what? And so I'll watch, but it's not like I'm not saying bring it on. I'm more going like, whoa. But then it's in.
Because if you're hanging on to that video and you're watching for more than 20 seconds, they're like, okay.
This guy likes it.
He likes it.
What is Dave's?
So Dave's is like golf stuff, and he gets like a lot of British memes. He's like in a different, and then it used to be a lot of like women with large breasts. It hasn't been that lately. I will give him credit.
Do I even know you? What kind of man?
Does he get all the ads for cakes, the inserts?
We gotta get that.
I get that too.
But mine, the issue that he's pointing out with mine that I'm so naive. I didn't realize. Like, so mine has been like very mommy centric
Sure.
lately. You know, obviously baby stuff, but it's like I'll get these like white women, and I'm like tricked into it. They're like, I'm like, oh wait, I just watched a video of a white woman like complaining about immigrants, and Dave's like, what's
This is what I'm saying. It's so easy. You're a month away from that being everything that you get. It's so easy. You cringe watch something, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, you like that shit, bitch? Here you go. Eat this, you nasty fuck. And then it's all kebabs and Justin Bieber's pastor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. What's
yeah.
your
Well, you
hot
know,
girl
I mean,
stuff?
Yours is hot girl stuff? What is
no,
hot girl
mine
stuff?
is not hot girl stuff. It's a lot. It's like really pathetic, like animals, wombats and donkeys. That's my current
that sounds
algorithm.
So wholesome. That sounds so
It's
nice.
wholesome, but I think I'm on the internet. I would be classified as someone on the internet too much because these micro dramas between influencers.
You know about them?
I know about all of them.
That's fun. Why? Beef? Everything is beef now.
I know. It's like the only way to sell tickets.
I know. It's like comedian beef.
Should we figure out something, an
why
issue?
are there why are there comedians that are more well known for fighting with other comedians than for their comedy? It's like,
I mean,
beef is so huge right now. I love when 50-year-old people are beefing. It's like, you don't have anything better to do? Don't you have grandchildren? You're like making a diss track? Like
I do get a lot of that. I do get a lot of younger women hating their mother-in-laws.
Oh, I get that too.
You do?
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
How to live when you have a toxic sociopathic mother-in-law and how to care for self. Oh, I saw a great one the other day. It was a woman. She's great. She's like, so I am a sociopath, a clinical sociopath, and I'm dating a narcissist. Here's how. So she's basically making a case for how like there can be a loving relationship between a diagnosed sociopath and a diagnosed narcissist. I'm like, this is neurodiversity taken to a further degree than perhaps I'm ready for.
I do love he's been on TikTok for a while, but he is like a admitted like narcissist, and he does give tips and he outs like other narcissists and stuff. I do like that stuff.
Destigmatizing sociopathy is I just don't know. Maybe I'm just old, but I don't think I'm ready for that.
But do you know that there's a sociopathy beef between two sociopath influencers?
How does it end? Them eating each other's fetuses, or what? Balut style?
So one sociopath is claiming that the other sociopath
doesn't care about
him. Stole her general content and her vibe, and
so funny.
Yeah, so there's a beef between everyone,
but it's working. Like that's great.
Yeah,
we really need it.
Oh, a beef. Okay.
We need a falling out.
No, that's fine.
Big one.
I can help. Who of the like comedians in your social circle do you like the least? People that you know.
I don't like anyone.
Like the least. Who could you call out as somebody that you hate who's in your social circle? Like somebody that maybe doesn't know that you dislike them.
We don't have it.
Oh, you don't have those. That's so interesting. Whose comedy do you watch that you think this person's really bad at comedy? That you
Everyone.
know. Everybody. Yeah. Well, that's just being a comedian, right?
Exactly. No, and I don't mean that. I am actually a fan of a lot of people.
I'm a fan of a lot of people too.
Yeah.
And I also hate a lot of people. And I always say, it's nice to watch your friends kill, but it's ecstasy to watch your friends bomb. Like somebody is funny. Watching a person that you know is funny bomb is like one of the great experiences.
I agree with that. That is really fun.
It feels so, and I don't even mean because they do so well. That some people say that like, oh, like Bill Burr, he bombed so well or whatever, like that famous like Philadelphia thing where, he's like counting off the time. I'm not talking about like turning shit into a diamond. I'm talking about a real bomb. Like actually it's not going well and you're sweating and I'm starting to see all of the like threads fall. Oh, it's awesome. Especially if like this isn't a pathetic person. This is a good comedian that could do better. And
yeah.
I saw a great show once at the store. There was a guy, he was a full prop act. Like full, like I mean Vegas.
Rick Glassman?
No, like real, like I mean multiple puppets and he was bombing so hard, but it was all like with like ta-da type of flourishes, and I'd never seen anything better in my life. Like because there's nothing lonelier than bombing with a prop. Have you ever used a prop?
I've never used a prop.
I remember.
How dare you even ask?
Yeah, you're right. You're not. That doesn't sound like you. I had this bit early on in comedy where I I had this plush astronaut helmet, and I did some. I don't even know what the bit was, but the first time I did it, so that first time magic, I like managed to make it people laugh at it. So I was like, oh, I think I have 10 new minutes. And so then the next time I bring it to the next show, I'm like, oh, just throw this on, and it's like the minute I put it on, it's like, oh, this is not funny. Like this is not good. No one, and I'm fucking dancing around doing like a spacewalk to silence, like the most humiliating. There's nothing more humiliating than a plush space helmet bomb. You should try it.
But it's like so. I feel like it's almost an immunity that you give yourself. It's a
That's
vaccine.
true.
Like you've
Yes.
done this horrible
It's an
thing.
Mpox vaccine.
Yeah, and you can now handle anything.
You mean walking through the bomb?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the fact that you could always point at the prop and go, well,
No.
No.
Like
a stiff bomb.
if you live through that, like what are you afraid of
Ooh,
after
a
that?
stiff bomb is that's a terrible feeling. Oh, that's
I love it.
you love
I'm
it.
not
Well, you
even-
do
like,
it so
I'm-
much. You must, you have to learn to love where you live.
Like literally just talking about it, I'm like drooling. Like I want to bomb. Like
Wait,
I want to.
What do you feel when you bomb? Are you actually in the moment enjoying yourself?
I find it to be so funny. Like if I'm like,
But it sounds like you're describing. See, everybody likes the bomb where it's not really a bomb because you're being funny the whole
I'm not
time.
talking about that.
You're
and
talking
I
about
do
just
love
an
that
actual
too.
horrible
But I'm like,
poisonous
if
bomb.
it's going bad, like then it starts to be the most fun for me because I'm like thriving for some. Like I'm like, oh, these people don't like me. Like,
Mhm.
and for some reason, like I like really come out then. Like
That's when you start performing.
It just makes me feel like you already don't like me, so I can't do anything wrong, so I can be the most whatever I want.
You are great about that though, because you're just not a people pleaser. There's nothing codependent about you.
Mm.
So you almost like become free.
Yeah, it's like you don't like me, like awesome.
Yeah.
Like
Right, you're
let's
like, join the
Now you
club.
owe them nothing.
Yeah. Like let's
get
go. I
that.
can't.
I would absolutely crumble and die and probably
Oh.
jump off a bridge.
It's a terrible feeling. You want to know? Here's a bad feeling. Bad feeling is a weekend at a club because there's always one like lesser show.
yeah.
There's always
Yes.
one. And so to have a great weekend at a club and have your last show be the lesser show, it's not even a bomb because like kind of hard to actually fully bomb at a headlining set at a club where they're there to see you. But to have an unsatisfying show be the final moment of your weekend, that's the worst because that means you gotta like go get up immediately and cleanse.
I once had like this is very early on where I did like a weekend. It was not headlining, but just with other people in La Jolla, where it's like famously really just the La Jolla Comedy Store. It's just small, good. Everyone knows like
The best.
it's a really
Yeah.
good room, and it was sort of like the first time I'd ever done like 4 shows in a row where I was just like in the moment feeling it was so fun. And then I was like really high on myself as a comedian. And so they come back Sunday and then do the Comedy Store regular. And like I just will never forget that bomb after feeling
After the
so
heights.
good.
Yeah.
It was like just the best lesson. Like I hadn't gone through that lesson yet where you think you're so good and then you're not. That was fun.
I sort of think like the 4 shows is more significant than the fucking potluck or whatever you were at the next day.
Yeah.
Like that's you.
Yeah, but it's still, you know how what you just said, like the last set is the one that it really did in that young comedian era, like ruin it for me.
Yeah.
It really ruined. Like now I would never let that ruin it. Like, but it really did then. I'm sad because we feel like we have to go.
You have to
Yeah.
come back.
Yes.
I'd love to come back.
And you and Natasha need to come together.
Please.
You could sit right there. We could talk about the Endless Honeymoon podcast, which is our
Yes.
podcast where we give relationship advice and listen to deep, dark secrets. And is that my camera?
Yeah.
It must be. And stuff like that. We'd love to have you guys both come on again.
It's
and also,
so good. I listen to it
you
all the
guys
time. It's so good. The
listen.
Endless Honeymoon podcast is on YouTube and everywhere. And what tour dates are coming up?
I
This
will be
out in
at,
3 weeks.
when does this come out?
3 weeks
3 weeks from now. So
last week.
3
This-
weeks.
Yeah.
I will be in Chicago on September the 21st at the Den Theater, which is, have you just said you went
I
there?
love the
It's
Den
like
Theater.
an awesome place.
I know.
I love it. Did they give you a pen?
They did give me a pen.
It's pretty, anything like that. Just a little thing. Just a little thing. Give me a pen.
No, because one of the guys that works there, he's really into like fine pens.
He loves a pen.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
There was a
that.
place in Cleveland that used to give you a bat, like made with your name on it. And it would be
That's
like,
cute.
it's just cute. It makes you feel like
Yeah.
it's old school. I'll also be in DC October 24th through 26th,
That's the
Seattle?
week before the election.
a week before the election,
Yeah.
which maybe it'll be less dread. Who knows what'll happen? Who even knows my political views? Can you tell by my glasses who I'm voting for? Seattle, Washington, November 8th and 9th, and I'm coming to the San Francisco Punchline and a bunch of other stuff. I'll be at also the Santa Cruz Comedy Festival, October 5th. We're doing a live Endless Honeymoon podcast, and that will be a lot of fun. And,
these are like all my favorite places.
I know.
They're such good places to go.
I've gotten to the point where, and it helps that my wife makes money too, where we both kind of just do the ones we like.
Yeah.
We're like, there's so little time to go on the road because we have a kid.
Oh.
Like we have to swap.
Mhm.
And so we can't both hit the road on the same weekend. Somebody's got to watch the kid.
Would one of you ever take her or no?
We've taken her.
Yeah.
She's come out. She's slept in a green room before. We took her to Hawaii when we performed at the Blue Note there. And, we'll take her to where it's fun. I don't want to get her too used to sleeping in a green room. So that seems like therapy fodder a little bit. But yeah. Come see me on my books. Get both of my books.
So good.
Kasher and the Rye, Subculture Vulture. They both are bestsellers. I'm very proud of that.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
That is a huge deal. His books are amazing. You guys, thank you so much, Moshe, for coming here.
Thank you.
I apologize profusely that the first 15 minutes were with Rick Glassman.
I was upset about it. Honestly, it's never great to have like a slightly younger, I would say, dare I say slightly better looking version of yourself standing in front of you.
I would not say
Thank you.
that about Rick ever.
He's not younger.
And we'll see you guys next week with a brand new episode. Bye, slugs.